think you were breaking. Oh, here we are.
Woohoo! Okay, which way am I going? I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm so tired.
I
I'm
think
gonna
you're good. You're good now. I think you're
You're
good now.
like, there's this meme that I share all the time, and it's like, are you an early bird or a night owl? And or are you basically me, which is a perpetually exhausted pigeon? That's what I am. Welcome to the No Small Business Left Behind Summit lives that we are doing it leading up to next week's No Small Business Left Behind Money Summit, which is going to be amazing. It is manifested, it is multiply it is mind it. And we are here today with Nicole Barham. Nicole is so dope. Super excited to have this conversation with her. Folks, let us know, where are you coming in from? And make sure to give StreamYard your permission to use your name. Otherwise, it'll just show up in the comments as Facebook user on our side. So let them know your name so we can put you up on the screen, shout you out, and answer any questions that you have. Like I said, this is leading up to the No Small Business Left Behind Money Summit that we are hosting on the 16th of February. Super excited to bring really great information. If you've been following along at home, you know that we had 2 weeks ago, Agnes Kowalski was with us, and then Stacy Hyland was with us to add a zero, multiply it. And today we have Nicole Barham with us, who is the founder of 5 Minute Money and the product 5 Minute Bookkeeper for solopreneurs as well, right? So we are super excited because whew, I don't know about y'all, but sometimes the numbers, I don't know. It's like, I don't know if maybe coming up we were sort of taught, you don't do math, you're not good at math, you're not good with numbers, things like that, that also when we then start a business makes it a little bit more challenging, right? Anybody deal with this at all? Where it makes it a little bit more challenging to to follow the numbers, track the numbers, and mind our numbers in our businesses, right? So I love that Nicole created this product that kind of demystifies it. And let me tell you, realistically, if somebody tells you it only take you 5 minutes to work with your money, you're really much more inclined to do it, right? So,
Absolutely.
oh, welcome. So excited to have this conversation with you.
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. It's amazing to be here, and I cannot wait for the summit on the 16th. It's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be lit.
Yeah, for sure, right? Because there's just so much meaty value. And I know that we met maybe a year. Well, I always say last year. Last year really means 2019 to me
Yeah.
at this point, every time I say last year. But I do believe it was at the top of 2020 when you came to that Miami Her Power Moves 305 event.
Yes.
And, when we talked then, you were saying, and at that point, I had no clue what my numbers were. I had just opened her power space. I was like, I'll sign up for Wave and the rest, I guess I'll leave the chance. Right? And you were like, nah, you can do this in 5 minutes. I'm telling you, I'm putting something together. You're going to love it. Right? So tell us about your journey to a place where you could create something that would only take us 5 minutes in our business. What brought you to
Yeah.
this space to help business owners do this?
Absolutely, Michelle. And I know that a lot of people are so skeptical, right? And they're like, and that's why you need to be at the summit because I'm actually going to show a live demo of literally doing this in 5 minutes. So, a little backstory: I am Nicole Barham. They call me a lot of things. Finance systems coach, 5 minute money coach, finance coach, all the things finances, and it was never always like that. So my background is I started out in accounting, but that's not how I came to do this work that I do. I actually started a business a few years ago when affiliate marketing just started coming in, Michelle, and I
Mhm.
started to um, be online and market online and making money and all this stuff. And even though I had an accounting background And, I did that for my employer, but in my own business, I was making money, but I wasn't minding it. I wasn't paying attention to it. And what happened was the worst thing that you can imagine happening to anybody. My business went belly up. I had to file bankruptcy.
Ooh.
And so that was, I see your face, Michelle, like, oh, that hurt, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I felt especially embarrassed and ashamed because accounting was my background. I'm a numbers
Right.
girl.
It's like has to be this like crazy level of shame where people are like, hold up, aren't you the numbers chick? Like,
Yeah.
how does that happen?
Aren't you an accountant? So
Right.
I literally was sitting in that courtroom that day, and I said to myself, I'm going to, from today forward, make sure that I'm a good steward of my money.
I love the word steward. That is a big part of my 2021 journey as well. Like manage, which is not a sexy word when you first think about it, but I did research on it. And manage is my word for 2021. And the goal being a good steward over my resources,
Yes.
including time and money, right?
Absolutely. Because it's when you do that, you're the one, you're literally in control, right? And my mantra is, or one of my taglines for my business is, when you control your money, you create your future, right?
I
Because
love
if your
that.
money is out here, not being controlled, just doing what it do, then your future is in jeopardy. You don't know what's going to happen when you wake up one day and you're like, oh snap, I'm 6 figures in debt. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't pay my
Right.
bills. All that. And
Right.
so I got to that point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to use these skills that I've built over the years and I've done for my employer and apply it to my own personal life.
Yeah.
And so I started to create these little tools that were really easy for me to use. And every day I would go to my bank account, and then I would go into my little spreadsheet that I created, and I put my numbers in. Now everybody, I said spreadsheet, and I think some people may be logged off.
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of
They're
those
like,
things with like the
oh
formulas and the
my
squares
God.
and stuff that nobody knows how to use, like sigma, sum, row, column. Yeah, no.
No, and let me tell you something. My tools are amazing. And again, come to the Money Summit. You're gonna love the demos that we're gonna be doing. It's gonna be great. Anyway, so I created these simple little tools that anybody could do. I tell people that my daughter, who was 14 at the time, she was helping me to get my numbers together, because we
At
need.
14, I love that though.
Yeah. And we need to teach them from young. Like, I know that if I was taught about money and managing money at an early age, I know for sure that I would probably not be in the position that I was. But anyway, so I got to the point where I did this for my personal finances, right? And then I I've always had the entrepreneur bug. My grandparents are entrepreneurs, my on both sides. Lots of entrepreneurs in my family. So I'm like, okay, I want to start my own business. And that was a totally um, different reason or why. I have a son. His name is Brandon. He's 8. He has autism, and I wanted to own my own business so I could have the time and the resources and the money, because hey,
Right.
I know we love our business and we love what we do, but hey, we do this for the money.
Exactly. And
So
let's be clear. I love Vicky Haywood Doe says she's loving this. Oral Jay Ferguson, thank you also for joining and saying this is great information. And I think that a lot of times we do. It's like money is looked at as this dirty word. And then when we move into being an entrepreneur for the purposes of freedom or having more choices than we would in our corporate life, we
yes,
end up becoming self-employed, which
right,
just means we have a job, but we're our own boss, right? That's not the
yeah,
same thing as having freedom. And managing and minding our money enables us to sort of have that freedom that you're talking about. I love that.
yeah, absolutely. And I wanted that freedom. I wanted the time freedom, and I also wanted the resources so I could take care of my son and make sure that he gets all the therapies he needs and gets all the things that he needs to thrive in this world. I also wanted my daughter to go to this university debt free, which she is doing. She started this fall, last fall. And I
That's
wanted,
awesome. Congratulations.
thank you. I wanted to have all these resources so that I did not have to worry about, my job couldn't cover the bills, or, that money couldn't cover the bills and all of that. I wanted to be my own, I wanted to build my own bank, right? And so started this entrepreneur journey again. And I'm like, if I can teach others, or I can provide this thing that I'm using to manage my finances, if I can do that for other people, I'm sure there's others who could use this, right? And then
Right.
I started
Right.
to use the same principles in my business, because guess what? I used to be that person in my past life that was scrambling at tax time. And we know that tax time is here, right? I used to be
Yes.
scrambling to get all the numbers together, running to my bank account, getting downloading those statements, running to my credit card statement, downloading those transactions, trying to get everything together, pulling my hair out. I called it the tax time scramble. I did that for years in my business.
And you're
And
not alone. Right? That people have also brought their numbers to you 2, 3, 4 years later because there's that fear of, well, if I just ignore it, I know it won't go away, but I'll get to it. And it slips another year and then
yeah,
another year.
yeah, absolutely. And that's what happened to me. Every year scrambling, I missed the tax deadline 1 year because I just couldn't get the numbers together to my tax professional. So I'm like, okay, if I can leverage the system that I created and have entrepreneurs, because you're doing all the things as an entrepreneur and the finances always
All
get
the
left
things.
all the things. So I said, okay, let me help entrepreneurs like myself, like my past self, who would really be able to get their finances together, um, day by day or even weekly, you know, and, so they don't have to do, wait until to do 12 months. They could do this weekly starting from the beginning of the year. And so that's how 5 Minute Bookkeeper for solopreneurs was born. And oh my gosh, I know you've seen the reviews, Michelle, off the charts. And I'm going to be
I've
doing,
seen it in action.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
I know that it worked. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so going to be doing a demo of that in the summit as well. So you definitely want to see that if you're an entrepreneur and you just want an easy way, simple, easy, quick, simple ways to manage your finances, whether personal or business. Definitely come over and we'll be doing demos of the 5 Minute Bookkeeper.
For those of you watching in the chat, drop a note. Let us know in the comments. Like, is dealing with your numbers, tracking your numbers, as an individual, if you're not a business owner or in your business, has that been something that you found to be a challenge? Are there questions that you have for Nicole about ways to maybe simplify that process for yourself? Ask the questions. Use the thank you. Have a good day. We are a co-working space. I haven't even mentioned that part of today's, right? This is my favorite FedEx guy. And so, in terms of simplifying the process and any questions that you guys have as you're watching, please drop those in the comments and we will get them up on the screen and make sure that Nicole answers them for you because I sure can't help you. So you better do this while you got Nicole and of course come to the summit on the 16th. Just full disclosure, right? I've always been an e-commerce business owner. So since about 2011, 2000, when I wrote the first book, and then 2012, really kind of went full time and left practice of law, I was then an e-commerce and online entrepreneur, right? And consulting and services. It was never about tangible, like this building products or right or goods. And so it was really easy to just be like, oh, that's just my income. That's just my income. That's just a part of my income, right? But there's something about signing a lease, right? Or having a product or setting up a store or having inventory that gives you this mental shift like, I'm a real business owner now. right?
Yeah.
Not to say that you're not on e-commerce, but it's just something about that tangible piece for me personally, where I saw my mind shift, right?
Yeah.
And so, as Nicole knows, this year, 2020, at the end of 2020, I spent over 6 hours tracking my 2020 income
Yeah.
from all of the sources. And this was the first time that I had ever sat down with my numbers in such a very dedicated, focused, and determined way.
Yes.
Right. And Nicole definitely was cheering me on all along that process that day. It was December 30th, 2020. And I sat for 6 hours doing my money year in review. Right. And it was the most freeing experience once I was done. I
Yeah.
tracked 18 unique sources of income because, sister, it was hustling in 2020, right? Seriously.
Yeah.
But when you know your numbers and where you can see where the income, I mean, literally, like I had an Amazon something sold on Amazon from an affiliate link for like $6. And I was like, I'll take that,
Oh,
right?
see
But
that?
the point is,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
knew, and something about knowing your numbers gives you that sense of power. And you can
Yeah.
also make decisions about how you spend your time, going back to being a steward of your resources. Money and time go hand in hand.
Absolutely. And when you waste a lot of time, because you really are wasting time that you could be spending on your business, focusing on pulling all those numbers together when you wait. So I definitely I'm a big advocate, and I was so happy when I saw you showing your numbers, Michelle. Well, not your numbers, but your process. I sat with my numbers, I got them all together because we had, spoken on and off about just, getting you. Oh, I need to get my numbers together. So I was happy when I saw that, and I'm like, this is what lights me up, like seeing how easy it is. And I get so many people who reach out to me daily on a daily basis who are saying to me, "Oh my goodness, you're changing my life by providing this thing that helps me to stay on top of my finances, seeing my money." Someone said I live above my means, and seeing my money this way, it's going to help me to really be more conscious of how I'm spending. It's
Yes.
not, so all of those things, like, it's not just numbers and a tool. It's really the backbone or the foundation of your business. Your finances are the backbone of your business. No money, no business. And so
Right.
you have to, at some point, get your business finances in order to get to that next level, in order to be a successful business. I mean, you can always, wing it for a little bit, but when you start thinking about getting to those big money goals and making those big um, larger incomes that will change lives, life-changing income, and changing your community, then you have to definitely have the financial foundation.
Absolutely. And what I love is Oral is asking a question that I know Nicole knows the answer to. What's the best quick book, not the product, but just quickly books, right? Startup for someone just getting started on a low budget, right? And this is a big question, solopreneurs, right? We always feel like, my budget is not there,
Yeah.
right? CPAs, bookkeepers, I don't even know the difference between the two. So let's put a pin in that and have that conversation in a minute. But to
Right.
to Oral's question, what are your thoughts on that, Nicole?
Um, oral. And I'm sorry if I'm not mispronouncing your name, but that's exactly why I created 5 Minute Bookkeeper. Um, is because there's no quick, and you know how I feel about this, Michelle. QuickBooks ain't quick. QuickBooks always says to entrepreneurs, "Oh, it's easy to set it up," but then people get frustrated and they come to me afterwards. What I did, Oral, in the beginning is that I literally pulled out a spreadsheet and I started to put my numbers in. If you don't like spreadsheets, if you don't want to build it from scratch, 5 Minute Bookkeeper, and you can reach out to Michelle as well. I'm not going to drop any links here, but if you'd like, I'll have Michelle send you the link to watch the demo for 5 Minute Bookkeeper. It's 2 minutes long. And you could build your own spreadsheet. You say you have a low budget, it's within your budget. And
And I'm
so
gonna drop the link in the comments, or I'll drop the link in the comments, and I'll also inbox it to you
yeah.
after this.
Um, yeah, so it's just very, that's for me. And the good thing about that is that you have access to getting this tool year over year over year. And so you don't have to
It
worry about
pays
when
for
you get to,
itself.
yeah, when you get to the point where your business has grown so much and you need your financial team and your bookkeeper, like a resident bookkeeper, then you can transition from 5 minute bookkeeper to that, to someone who's doing it for you. But in the meantime, just this thing that helps you to just spend a few minutes a day. Now, I know that nobody asked this question, but I'm going to mention it, Michelle, because I
Please
know
do.
that a lot of people are thinking, yeah, but I'm not just starting out. I have 2020, the whole year of 2020, and I did nothing.
Spend
How?
6 hours like I did.
Yeah, no, not 6 hours.
I'm just kidding.
I can assure you that it can take you with 5 minute bookkeeper for the whole year of 2020. And I'm going to put this on, I'm gonna say this like with surety. You can be done with your 2020 numbers within 2 to 3 hours, because
That's great.
that is the feedback that I've gotten from anyone who's used it. They're like, I was done. I could not believe I was done with my whole year in 2 hours. I was done in 3 hours. I was done in four. So it's average 3 hours. Sometimes it takes less because you might not have that many transactions. You might have everything streamlined in one account, and it's easier, you use a specific account for your business. Or if it's all mixed up, personal, business, all mixed up, it will take a little bit longer. But you don't have to, the most work you're going to do is focusing on getting those together, not using
Yeah,
the tool.
and I think there's two things here at play as well, right? It's
Mhm.
about being organized, right? Because once you start managing and stick with it and are disciplined about it, you're
Yep.
organized and everything's together for the end of the year.
Yeah.
But mentally, I think there's something to be said about taking it off your plate every day.
Hmm.
And so for me personally, I track my numbers every single day, and I started doing that as of January 1st of this year. I know exactly how much I make every single day and where it's coming from, and
Yeah.
I track it and I watch it, and that's definitely a direct result of Nicole, because a 5 minute bookkeeper, that thought of, you know what, 5 minutes in a day is so much more economical than, I'm not complaining about the 6 hours, but let's be real, it was 6 hours, right?
Yes.
And I did not, I got up to go to the bathroom, full
Yeah.
disclosure, right? And just to like eat while I was still doing the numbers. And so, but that was 6 hours of focused time. Let's
Yeah.
talk about 364 days of it being on my mind,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And so there's this concept of really just giving up the space that it's taking in our psyche, that we're either saying, I should be doing this, we're beating ourselves up because we're not doing it, and just expending all of these resources psychologically on the numbers, when
Mhm.
daggone it, take 5 minutes a day, put the number down and keep it moving. You know
Yeah.
what it is, you'll get back to it when it's necessary, hand it over to your tax professional when necessary, right? So I just think it's a beautiful thing. And that's why I'm so excited about this money summit,
Yeah.
because I personally deal with this crap, right? And I know that if I deal with it, y'all deal with it too.
Yeah.
So, it's really important to mind your numbers. And so, Oral, hopefully that answered your question, because I think Nicole gave you a couple of options there using a spreadsheet. We're going to drop the link to her program, and then, any kind of free online software, spreadsheets, things like that that you can do. So, yeah, for sure. So her power move said, "Oh Lord, I do too." So I don't know who's on the her power moves account. We only got like 3 admins. It's one of the admins.
I was going to say, is
But
that you, Michelle?
it's not me actually.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I love that. So, so Nicole, in the few minutes that we have left, tell folks what they can expect from your session at the manifest. At the No Small Business Left Behind Money Summit, manifest it, multiply it, mind it. And before you answer that question, I do have one big announcement. Earl said thanks. VR Maddox of Get Hired has purchased a ticket to be given away to the summit. And we will be sharing later on today how you can qualify for the raffle that we'll be holding later. That doesn't mean don't buy a ticket, because you can always donate it and bring somebody else. So you can still buy a ticket now. But later on this week, we will be announcing a winner, and all of the details for you to be able to put in for the raffle from Get Hired. She just really wanted to sow into someone else's business. And that's our community. That's what our community is all about. So, Nicole, what can folks expect from your workshop? Because you're going to be talking for like 45 minutes, interactive. Let us
Yeah.
know, what can we expect?
Oh, you can expect a lot of fun, because one of the things that I do is I want to make finances fun, right? I don't want you to be thinking, "Oh gosh, she's going to talk about finances, it's going to be boring, I'm going to fall asleep." It really is talking about how you can incorporate daily habits into your life that can really make you want to love on your finances, start that intimate relationship. We're going to be talking a lot more about how do you develop that intimate relationship with your money. How do you because you can't make more of what you ignore, right? So paying attention,
Right.
finding it, and just the different ways and strategies that myself, my clients, my customers have done that. And of course, going to give you a demo of 5 Minute Bookkeeper. It's tax season. A lot of you have your numbers still sitting on your computers, on your bank accounts and credit cards. So we're going to be doing demos of that as well. Really
So what
excited
I love,
to be there.
I'm so excited about this. And as you guys can see, especially for those of you who have been here for all three of these lives with our speakers who will be presenting at the Money Summit, is that Agnes Kowalski, Aggie, right? Aggie K started us off 2 weeks ago with our first live, talking about manifesting and mindset and money. And she is a grief recovery specialist. Okay. So let's put this in context. We're talking about money with a grief recovery specialist. And the first thing out of her mouth was, "Do you play with your money?" Right? Playing. Think about that. The mindset of playing with your money, right? Think about it. It's the concept of making it rain, but in a way where you're thoughtful about it, right? On what you want to spend it on. But
Yeah.
having a relationship with your money, money is energy,
Yeah.
right? And then we went on and talked with Stacy Hyland. And she's like, you know what? You can multiply your money. And it's okay, right? We can swim like Scrooge McDuck in our coins. And it's totally fine, because we have now our mindset in place, and now let's level up, let's multiply it. And I love that Nicole now comes in and bookends and says, are you having fun? Let's make numbers fun. Right.
Yeah.
And so these are topics that oftentimes money becomes so taboo. It's so difficult sometimes to talk with money. There's guilt around money. I'm not doing the thing I should be doing with my money, or someone else isn't doing the thing they should be doing with their money, or however that looks for you. And this summit is about taking all of that crap, all those layers off, acknowledging they exist, and then moving forward in a way where we get to our next level as our highest and best self. And that's why I had the idea for this summit with these three incredible women who are so good at what they do in their respective area with regard to money.
Yeah.
Right. And so I love that you're saying we're going to demystify it. We're going to make the numbers fun. You're going to have high interactivity. Nicole is going to have demos, and you can walk through and ask very specific questions as you're going through the product with her. So I think that's really going to be important, because, we all have numbers to deal with. If
Yeah.
you are an entrepreneur, there are numbers that you need to deal with, right? So Nicole, as we get ready to wrap up, so what are your parting words of wisdom for
Oh,
those of us who are struggling to mind our money?
yeah. I just would just like to reiterate what you said, Michelle, about money being energy, and whatever energy you put out when it comes to your money, your business, your finances, that's what you're going to get back, right? So don't worry about how much you have, because a lot of people think that they only are going to start looking at the money when they start making a lot of it.
That
And
is a big point. Great
yeah, I
point.
dare say you start looking at it now, even if you're making a loss, even if you're not where you want to be, just being aware of it, that the money is like, oh, you're paying attention to me. Oh,
You
okay.
love me. You really love me. But and what you focus on multiplies, right? Let's be real. What you focus on multiplies.
Yeah, and I'm
That's
gonna
what
leave
it's.
you. Oh, you just broke up, Michelle. I'm sorry, but I'm going to leave you with a quick message. So, um, again, coming back to 5 Minute Bookkeeper, because it's so, that has changed so many lives. Is that there's also an income goal tool in there, and I have used that tool, and my clients have used that tool to set income goals. So think about it. If you're in a small business owner, you're just starting out, or you've been in business for a while, whatever, and you're like, this month I want to make $5,000, $10,000 a month, right? Or for this month, and you put that goal in. When you're tracking that, and you can see the end of the month coming, and you can see how much you have left to make your goal, you start getting ideas.
Tell us the story of you doing that. Go ahead, share that story because that's a good story, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah,
Definitely. And if
absolutely.
you guys have any last minute questions, drop them in the comment. Tell us
Yeah,
the story of you watching that number
yeah.
and what transpired for you that month because I love this story.
Absolutely. And I love my tools. So I'm definitely a user of everything that I create. And so I keep track of my income every day, 5 minutes a day. And I also put my income goals in, because that's the great thing with 5 Minute Bookkeeper. You're able to put your income goals in. And I had set for that month $20,000 for the month. And it's coming to the end of the month. I think it was the last day, and I was at 18,000 or 17,000. I think it was $1,800 that I needed to get to my goal. And I just put it out there. I'm like, I need to make this goal. I need to make some sales. So I started to get so many ideas. And I went on social media and I'm like, I'm close to my goal. If you were thinking of getting any of my products, get in, help me. We're good. It's win-win, right? I'm going to make my goal. You're going to have this amazing tool that's going to help you in your business. By the end of that day, I was over $2,000
I
in
love
sales,
it.
even more than I. So if I had sat there, not known my numbers, not gotten creative and say I want to make my goal, then nothing would have happened. And so that's why I'm saying paying attention to your money, keeping track of it, and then using those numbers to make some really big decisions in your business.
Yeah,
Those are my
absolutely. I love it. I love it. And you guys hear that number she said, 20K a month, right? How many of you would like to make 20K a month? And how many of you may have made 20K a month and you ain't even know, right? Looking at your numbers. And I will be sharing my story next week when I go live. I'll be going live solo next Monday to talk about sort of my own personal money journey. And last year, in the midst of a pandemic, when I had my first $1,000 day, right? And that's not with my day job. That's with my 18 sources of income. But seriously, I got to a point, and I'll tell you what happened as we hit around 9 p.m. that day of my first 1K day. And I think it's really important that when we begin to focus on our numbers, we really understand what's possible for us because sometimes things don't feel possible. It's like $20,000 a month, $1,000 day. That's like beyond the scope of anything I can do. But let me tell you, if Nicole can do it, if I can do it, you can do it too. And we're going to show you how next Tuesday, the 16th of February at the No Small Business Left Behind Money Summit, where we're going to manifest it, multiply it, and mind it. So I will be back next week on Monday to go live. Nicole, thank you so much for taking this time. I can't wait to see your workshop on the 16th.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Michelle, for inviting me. And thanks everyone for your comments and your questions.
Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.